Welcome to Country Cookin'. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we'll be making chicken scampi, traditional spinach salad, popovers, and an upside-down German chocolate cake. So let's get started. This recipe for this German chocolate cake comes from the best of the bake-off from Pillsbury, and so they like you to use their products. So we're going to start with Pillsbury German chocolate cake mix, and I'll pour it in. To this we're going to add a half cup of sour cream, and a half cup of oil. I'm using canola, whatever you can use, whatever you like to use, and 3 eggs. This is a nice cake to make when you're in a hurry. If you've got if you're making something to take to the church for a funeral or something, this is easy and it saves you the step of having to frost cakes, and it's always a time saver if you're in a hurry. Okay, I'm going to mix this just till it's combined, and then we're going to beat it for 2 minutes on medium-high speed. So get it all combined here. Okay, well, I'm going to go back to mixing that, but I'm going to get started on the stove, some of the mixture for the German chocolate. So we have a 1/4 cup of butter and 3/4 cup of water, and I'm going to get that heating up, and then we'll finish beating this, and by that time that should be pretty well melted. Remember, all these recipes can be found on the Valley website. And if you don't have internet, give the girls a call and they'll be happy to get you the recipe. We'll take a little quick break while I beat this up so you don't have to listen to the beater. We'll be right back. Alright, we're done with mixing the cake batter, and my butter is melted, so I'm going to add my brown sugar. This is 2/3 cup. Firmly packed, light brown sugar. And we'll just mix this until it dissolves. For that to melt in there. If you like, you can make your own German chocolate cake from scratch. That's fine. I normally do all my cakes from scratch, but being that this is from the Pillsbury Bake Off and it's a quick kind of a time saver, I thought it might be kind of a nice idea for you. So. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay, we're going to pour this in the bottom of our pan. And then we'll sprinkle it with our coconut. This is 1 cup of flaked coconut. And we have 1.5 cups of mini marshmallows. Kind of try to evenly distribute it. Okay, and then we have a 1/2 cup of chopped nuts. I use pecans because traditionally that's what you use in a German chocolate cake. You can use walnuts if you prefer. Okay. We'll pour our cake batter over that. Now the instructions say to bake this from anywhere from 38 to 48 minutes, and there again it kind of depends on how hot your oven heats, and you want to cover all the topping ingredients there with your batter. So we'll put it in the oven, get it going, and then we'll start working on our salad.
As the demand for advanced broadband and cloud-based services continues to grow, so does our commitment to you, our members. We are committed to providing you with the newest technologies and fastest broadband speeds available anywhere. Watch for the exciting details on faster speeds and new broadband packages coming soon.
Okay. This salad is a traditional spinach salad that if you eat in restaurants or something, a lot of times you'll find this type of a spinach salad. I've got a bag of spinach, and you may have spinach in your garden now. Just make sure that you've pulled all the stems off, because the stems are hard to chew and hard to swallow. So I've got it all washed and stemmed, and then we're going to sprinkle bacon over the top. You can use however much you want. You know, sometimes they say 5 strips, sometimes they say 8. I like a lot of bacon, so I usually do that. I've got red onions, about a 1/2 cup or so. Less if you don't like it quite so much. And it looks like a lot when you're piling it on top, but actually when you toss it, then it kind of blends in. I've got Swiss cheese that I've julienned, but I've made them kind of shorter so they're easier to chew also. Got a big one there. Okay. And then I have an egg slicer. If you don't, you can just slice it by hand. I have a lot of kitchen gadgets. My husband always teases me that if I buy one more kitchen gadget, he's going to divorce me, but so far it hasn't happened. So you can do something artistic if you want to pass your dressing, but if you want to toss it, just however you want to, you know, however fancy you want to get. Got four eggs. If I'm using my egg slicer for like egg salad or something, I'll slice it like this, and then I'll put it this way and slice it again and give it in smaller pieces. So if you don't have an egg slicer, that might be an inexpensive investment that you would enjoy. Okay. Set that aside, and then we'll work on our dressing. If you have fresh lemons, by all means go ahead and use it. Today I'm going to be using the real lemon. And we'll start with 2/3 cup of olive oil. I'm using extra virgin. A 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. Two tablespoons of lemon juice. Two teaspoons of soy sauce. Got a teaspoon of sugar. Teaspoon of dry mustard. Then we need a 1/2 teaspoon of curry powder. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt. A 1/2 teaspoon of seasoned pepper. I'm using lemon pepper. And 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay. Once again, I've got my handy little salad dressing mixer. This is a Pampered Chef product that I use a lot for my dressings. Nice thing is you can put everything in there and mix it up and put it in the refrigerator and chill it until you're ready to use it. That's all there is to it. So easy. We're going to pop it in here. We'll take a quick break while I clean things up, and then we'll start working on the chicken. Be right back.
Get 3 months free access on all lines, plus a new 4G smartphone for only $4.99 a month. 2 great offers with Valley Cellular. Call Valley today at 437-2615 to take advantage of this great deal.
Right. We're going to make some honey butter, and we made this on another show. We kind of like honey butter with our popovers. You can make something a little more savory, and sometimes that would be a good idea for the dish that we're making. And make your savory butter with whatever you like. You can do like a garlic butter. You can add dill. Whatever you think you want to do. So I've got a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar that I've sifted here. This is a 1/2 cup of melted butter. And then I need a 1/2 cup of honey. And then a little bit of cinnamon. You want to be careful to not use too much cinnamon because it can be a little overpowering with the honey butter, and you want more of the flavor of the honey than the cinnamon flavor. So I'm going to use about an eighth or a heaping eighth kind of. And then you just whisk it together. And this keeps for a long time. I keep it in the refrigerator and then I set it out 10 minutes or so before we're going to use it so it softens up a little bit. Looks like that. And then I just put it in a dish that I have that I can put a lid on. Okay, so we'll let that firm up a little bit, and then we'll start mixing up our popovers. I'm waiting for the cake to get done before we put the popovers in because it uses a higher temperature. But we'll get it mixed up. And I start with greasing. These are mini popovers. I have a mini popover tin. I also have the big popover tins, but when you're eating popovers with a meal, I like to use a smaller popover, or you can use, if you don't have a popover pan, you can use a muffin tin. But I've softened a little butter, and then you want to generously grease your cups, whatever you're using, so that the popovers come out easily. If you don't, they're going to rip and you won't have very good luck. So you want to make sure you get in there all the way around. I might not need all of these, but we'll have them ready just in case. Okay, so it looks like that. You want to definitely be generous with the butter. Okay, now for the popovers, you whisk I've got 2 eggs, you whisk those up slightly beaten. Don't want to overbeat. That's the one thing about popovers is everything is just until blended. And so we've got our cup of flour, half teaspoon of salt. We'll whisk that together. Pour in our eggs, and then our cup of milk, and then we're just gonna whisk it just until it's combined and you can't distinguish the flour from the milk and eggs. And it'll be lumpy. It kind of looks like that, and we'll pour it in. You want to fill them about 3/4 full because you want it'll raise and pop up over. This looks like about perfect. Okay. I'm going to check the cake. It's been about the 38 minutes. We're going to check it and see how it looks. See if it needs another 10 minutes or so. think that looks like it's done. I have a cake tester. Use a toothpick or something if you don't have one. And it's coming out clear, so we're going to take it out. We'll set that aside. And we're going to start working on the chicken, but we'll get the popovers going. We have to increase the oven temperature. We'll take a quick break while I clean things up, and we'll be right back. Now remember, all these recipes can be found on the Valley website, and if you don't have internet, give the girls a call and they'd be happy to get you a copy. We'll be right back.
Valley Telecommunications is pleased to announce that our Technology Solutions Center is fully stocked and open for business. We have a large selection to meet your wants and needs. Some of the items we currently carry are a variety of corded and cordless phones, different brands of tablets such as Kindle Fires and Apple iPads and all the accessories for them, Telekin computers, Epson and HP printers and ink cartridges, Apple iPods and accessories, office supplies, wireless keyboards and mice, cellular phones and accessories, different types of media storage, cameras, headphones, power strips and surge protectors, and much, much more. You can also get your very own Valley swag. Our prices are reasonable and comparable to any other retail store. If there is something that you want or need that we do not currently carry, please let us know so that we can check into it for you. We accept all major credit cards, cash or check. Please feel free to stop by our office and check out our new and improved store for all of your technology and day-to-day business needs.
Okay, the oven is heated up to 450. We're going to put the popovers in. And those are going to bake at 450 for 15 minutes. And then we're going to reduce the temperature and try not to peek and open up the door. Turn on the light and look if you have to peek. This chicken scampi can be served with noodles or with rice, and you can use wild rice or Uncle Ben's or white rice. My family likes white rice once in a while, so that's what we're going to do today. So I've rinsed my long grain white rice in cold water, and I've added a half teaspoon of salt, so we're going to get that going. If you prefer using minute rice, you can do that too. We like traditional rice, we just think it has a better texture. So we'll get going with the chicken scampi. We're going to melt a 1/4 cup of butter. And to that we're going to add a 1/4 cup of olive oil. Here again I'm using extra virgin olive oil. They say the purer your olive oil is, the better it is for you. So we'll let that melt together. And what we're going to do is we're going to saute the green onions that I have chopped finely. That's a 1/4 cup. And I'm going to press my garlic in. If you don't have fresh garlic, go ahead and use the garlic that you buy in the jar in the produce section at your store. Okay. We'll just saute this just for a few minutes till they get tender. That we're gonna have to wait till the butter melts a little bit. It'll really start blending the flavors. So the chicken it's 2 breasts of boneless, skinless chicken breasts and sliced into 1/2 inch pieces. So they look like this. I've got them all trimmed. You don't want any fat on them or anything. So we'll wait till that sautés for a couple minutes and you could also use this recipe for shrimp if you want to, but this with the chicken it makes a delicious dish. Smells really good, gives you a really nice aroma and a nice flavor. And surprisingly, despite the fact that it uses a whole tablespoon of garlic, you don't feel like when you're eating that you're overwhelmed with garlic, and you don't feel like when you go somewhere for the evening or if you have guests in that you have such bad garlic breath. I don't know what it is, but I think that there's enough chicken that it kind of tones it down a little. Okay, we're going to add the juice of a lemon. If you don't have a lemon on hand, you can use the real lemon in the bottle or whatever. For a medium lemon, it's about 2 to 3 tablespoons, and if it's a large lemon, you're going to get about 1/4 of a cup. Okay, I'm going to add the chicken. You just kind of spread it out as evenly as you can. Depending on the size of your skillet, you may have some overlapping, but that's okay. When you turn it, it'll be okay. This will feed 4 very hungry people, 5 or 6 if you if they're not huge appetites, or if you're serving other things with the meal like a vegetable and everything. Okay. Take a quick break while that gets going, and we'll be right back. Now that it's going a little bit, we're going to add a teaspoon of salt. And a 1/4 cup of minced parsley. I have an herb garden, so I use it from that. If you don't have fresh parsley on hand, you can use dried parsley or something else in that order. And then we're going to add fresh ground pepper. You can buy these, they're just the McCormick grinders. This is a peppercorn medley. It calls for about a 1/2 cup, so we'll grind in what looks like about a 1/2 cup. And if you don't have a pepper grinder or you don't have fresh ground pepper, by all means just use the pepper that you have in your home. As it starts to color and turn white, then you want to start turning it, so we'll get going on that. So when they start to look like this on this side, then you can go ahead and turn them. This time of the year too, where you hate to have the stove running, your oven running, to heat up the house and everything. The air conditioner seems to have to work overtime. So what I like to do is if I'm going to be entertaining or I want something baked, I bake first thing in the morning when it's still cool outside. But this is a dish that you cook right on the stove top, and it doesn't seem to heat up your house quite as much as heating up the oven. So this is a good dish to make in the summertime when you're running the air conditioner. The original recipe also on this called for a half cup of butter. We kind of feel like that was more butter than you needed, so we cut it in half, and we like it that way. It still has plenty of flavor, and it still has even enough sauce if you want to drizzle a little bit of the lemon butter sauce over your rice too. You can do that. But so if you want to go ahead and do like the original recipe and use a half cup of butter, you can go ahead and do that. But we find that cutting it down to a fourth cup of butter works well for us. Okay, as soon as my rice comes to a boil, I'm going to put a lid on it and reduce the heat. It's not quite there yet. So we'll wait and let these things cook. We'll be right back.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Okay, it's been 15 minutes since we put the popovers in, so we're going to reduce the temperature to 350. And then we're going to resist looking in at them, but now with that reduced temperature is when they really start to pop. And we're going to let them bake for another 15 or 20 minutes. You're going to start wanting to watch them at about the 15-minute stage to make sure that they don't get too done. And my rice has just come to a boil. I'm going to give that a stir, and we'll reduce the heat and put the lid on it. The chicken is cooking nicely, so we're getting close. Remember, all these recipes can be found on the Valley website, and if you don't have internet, give the girls a call. They'd be happy to get you the recipes. So we'll be back as soon as that chicken's done. Okay, our popovers are done. This is what they look like, and hopefully they should pop right out. They've got a couple that are wanting to stick a little bit. No matter what, you think you got it greased enough, and you always have one that wants to be stubborn. Basket. Okay, we're going to go ahead and slice out a piece of cake. Now, if you like, you can go ahead and invert the whole cake. I usually just keep it in the pan so that I can put the lid on it if we're not going to be using the whole cake at once. Dish some of the salad. like I explained before, you can go ahead and toss the whole salad if you like, or you can just serve it on the side. The nice thing about serving it on the side is if you don't use the entire salad, then it doesn't get wilty on you. There's our chicken. We're going to toss on our tomatoes. And we'll dish a bed of rice or noodles, whatever you prefer. Whoops. Okay, there you go. We have the spinach salad, the chicken scampi, popovers. Got our honey butter right here, and we have our upside down German chocolate cake. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Country Cookin', and we'll see you next time.